going to level with you. I might have gotten myself a little bit carried away on transfer deadline day. Hello there and welcome to Season 4, Episode 3 of Let's Go Parma. I'm Stubo. Thank you for joining me for today's episode where we're going to be playing against Barcelona and Roma. Yeah. If that sounds like a good plan to you, you're a monster. But please do leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel as well for more lovely, awesome FM content. Since you were last with me, we've played a bunch of games. We did transfer deadline day, all of that wonderful stuff. Couple of things I need to let you know about. Well, you know what? Before we ruin anything, before we get into any of that stuff, let's just have a look at this lovely bit of form that we're in. We haven't lost a game yet this season, and I'm very much here for it. If we get rid of the friendlies, just so we're not looking at those. We have been very, very good. So, obviously, you saw the first two games. The 2-2 draw against Atalanta and the demolition job on Sassuolo. We then scraped past Bologna 1-0, which was a bit of a disappointing one. But then, Liverpool came to Ennio Tardini and we got a draw. And it was not a one-sided game where we just held on for dear life. They had their chances, we had ours. You could argue we were very unlucky to come away with a draw. Don't look at the screen too closely, because there might be one or two spoilers. In fact, I'm just going to click over here so you don't see any of those spoilers. But yeah, we got the draw against Liverpool, and then we beat Salernitana, Brescia, two very good wins. Then we got a late draw against Napoli. That was a difficult one. They went ahead early on. We were fighting back all the way through. They went down to 10 men, and eventually we managed to get a goal in the form of Lorenzo Luca, who has scored a few goals this season, but he's not been prolific. One goal here, a couple of goals here, then a bit of a break here, and then a goal here. But he has been involved in the play, and he's certainly not been, again, like I said, prolific, but 4 goals in 6 games with an assist. I think that's pretty good going. For a £6 million striker, I think that's pretty good going. Not at all regretting the decision not to sign Sebastiano Esposito on a permanent. In terms of the nitty-gritty, Martin Rabo has left. There's no two ways about that. There's no way to kind of express that at all. He's gone. And there's a couple of ways to look at this. I mean, the first way to look at this, actually, is his value. So, I actually looked at Martin Rabo immediately after he signed his contract, and my initial thoughts was, let's get him back on loan. Wanted to get him back on loan, and his value was in the 70s, 80s, 90s of million. I wish I recorded it because it was so high, it was ridiculous. Obviously, his value is nowhere near that level at the moment. He's currently down as a 3-star player. We know he's a 2.5-star player. But he's stuck in Manchester City's under-23s. But that transfer did go through £9.25 million. I was really frustrated at the time because that value was so high and we only got £9 and a bit million for him. We actually didn't even get all of that. A lot of it went to his former club, Cash Points. Don't need the money if they're named Cash Point, but there we go. A lot of the money that we got went to him, so we only got about £5 million for it. So we had about £5 million left and a bit of wage budget. And then a player popped up, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't help myself. I genuinely couldn't help myself. Time Felipe Coutinho. I've got nothing. I don't know what to tell you. I was having a look on the scouting page, looking on players who were listed for transfer. Coutinho was there. He was up there for like 2.8 million or something like that. We had 5 million. I was just like, well, this would be ridiculous. Initially went in for a loan, tried to loan him in. For some reason, the loan didn't go through. I don't think he wanted a loan. I think he might have turned the loan deal down. But he was interested, dubious, but interested in a permanent transfer. I did a bit of quick maths in my head, worked out that we just about had enough money if we got most of the transfer fee on instalments. Did that. And as a result, Felipe Coutinho is here. Now, he's played 4 games, not got a good match rating. It's very important to point out that he came to us with zero sharpness, zero match sharpness. So we have been building him up ever since. 3.1 million. We paid, I think, 1 million of that up front. I think he is going to be a superstar for us eventually. Well, I say superstar. He's 32 years old. He's not got great natural fitness. So I don't think he's going to be a long-term solution for us. But I think he's got a couple of good performances left in him, I think. And he's going to be great covering this middle of the park mark here. He'll be good cover on the left-hand side as well. Not the quickest, but he's got good he's got good acceleration. He's got decent acceleration, whereas his pace is the bit that's really suffering. The acceleration is the bit that I would prefer to have, because it means over short distances he can beat someone, or at least not get beaten by someone too much. But either way, we've got Filipe Coutinho. I'm very excited about that. £135,000 a week. We kind of worked it out that either we'd be level on our wage budget or over it by like £4,000. So that was fine. I'd want to draw your attention, Your Honour, to Exhibit B, though. Castrovilli is now on the same amount of money as him. Dear viewer, you might be asking why. Dear other viewers, you might be knowing why. Wow. Have a look at his contract. Match high Sterner clause. I forgot I put that in there. I'll be completely honest with you. Completely forgot that I put that in there. So, I was very happy with myself. And I remember having a quick nose at this page, seeing exactly what the damage was. And I saw that number and panicked. I was like, what has happened there? Did I do the maths wrong? No, I didn't do the maths wrong at all. I just forgot that when I signed Castrovilli, that was part of the only way we could get him to sign a contract. So the board are very happy with me at the moment, because we are struggling to fulfill the requirement of working within the wage budget. Now, one of two things is going to happen here. Either, nearer towards the January transfer window, they're going to give us a potload of cash to spend. In which case, we can put most of that into the wage budget and fulfill that. Or, it means we're going to have to sell one or two players in January. And I've got to be honest with you, I've got a couple of early contenders. Cambiasso so far this season has been woeful. So I would, at this moment in time, consider him. Castrovilli hasn't been great. Wouldn't move him on straight away, because I think he's still getting used to the way the club plays. Also, we don't really play with the position that he likes. So I'm hoping eventually he's going to get used to playing how we want him to. Mihaila has been good, but I really don't think he's a long-term player for us. I think he's someone we'll probably move on at some point. But the one I really would be not against moving on whatsoever is Dennis Mann. Dennis Mann is a very good player. He has been very good for us. Not this season. He has scored a goal, but the other performances have been trash. So I would very much be happy to move him on. And he's on £62,000 a week. He's got a decent value. I'm happy to move him on, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because one thing we need to be aware of as well is, I haven't had a look at this properly yet, but I'm going to guess there's a couple of contracts that are going to be out at the end of the season. While Coutinho's is out at the end of next season. Do you know what? Actually, no. I actually did some due diligence last season. I got people on proper contracts, so we don't need to worry about that bit at all. But, yeah. As a result of that, I've kind of broken the team a little bit. Like, there's no one's unhappy or anything, but Coutinho is there to play in the position that Karabakh is playing in, and he's had a decent start to the season. So at the moment, he's playing on the left, but the problem with him playing on the left is Rooney Bargi was playing on the left. Rooney Bargi now is a backup. And to be fair, he's been struggling to get his sharpness all the way through, so I'll hold my hands up and admit, may have ballsed up on that transfer. However, if Coutinho starts putting in good performances, no balls up necessary. I don't know why I've got him on support. Let's put him on attack. I want to start him in this game because, fully enough, it's against Barcelona, his former club. So, with all of that nonsense out of the way, we're going... Oh, that's another thing. Before we actually get to any of the nonsense, what's up at the table? Aha! After 6 games. Same record as AC Milan. We're level on games with everyone. And currently, as it stands, we have an equal goal difference to everyone. We have equal wins, equal draws. Yeah, us and AC Milan are the 2 teams at the moment. And I'm very much here for him. Monchu is the best player in the league by a decent distance. Lorenzo Luca, again, not prolific necessarily, but he's getting the ratings in. The man is a good player. Dragowski's got 4 clean sheets, only behind Magnan, who is a ridiculous goalkeeper in this game, apparently. So, yeah, all is well. Right, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to the game against Barcelona, where we're probably, if I'm being honest with you, going to get absolutely hammered. It's Dragowski in goal, Sambia, Ballo, Grimal and Valeri in defence, Monchu and Castrovilli in midfield, with Tino, Karabakh and Coutinho. It's ridiculous to say that. Supporting Lorenzo Luca up front. I've got nothing else clever to say. Let's just get into the game, shall we? Let's go. I have got a sneaking suspicion that we are going to get absolutely battered in this game. But then, I thought that about the Liverpool game, and we actually gave a very good account of ourselves as well as getting a draw. Like, the actual performance wasn't a bad one at all. Tino trying to slip the pass through to Karabakh, can't quite get there, and we give possession away. And this is what worries me. Whenever we give possession away, I get a little bit panicky because We've not been a glass cannon so far this season, but I feel like against the big hyper clubs like a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, they're the games where we're going to get absolutely battered. Castrovilli's just given away a penalty. Oh, he's costing me more than just money, Castrovilli. I'm really hoping that's on the edge of the area and it's a free kick. No, it's a penalty. Right. Kandragowski, be a big damn hero. He's got it in him. He's absolutely got it in him, but I don't know whether that's going to happen. It's Araujo who takes the penalty, weirdly. I think he's one of their defenders, isn't he? Doesn't matter. He scored. It is 1-0 to Barcelona. We're at the new camp. We're going to get battered. We know we're going to get battered, but I didn't really want it to be by giving away a silly penalty. And Castrovilli, it's very, very, very quickly happening that I am losing patience with him. Oh, God. Well, said we were going to get battered. It's 15 minutes in. Conceded 2 goals. It's getting double checked. I think it's going to get given. Right, 2-0 down inside 15 minutes. That isn't ideal in the slightest. You remember what I said when we had this group? Europa League football it is. Very convinced of that opinion at this moment in time. Grimal and Castrovilli having terrible games. Karabakh not doing much. In fact, most of the team are just playing badly. We're going to demand more from them. Because this is not an acceptable performance. We have been better than this. Not just the fact that it's Barcelona. We're not playing well. And that really concerns me. And I think we're going to make a bunch of changes at half-time. Because this has been pretty pathetic. Coutinho, by the way, was actually one of our better players. Has just tanked at some point in that half. Right, I'm going to shout at them. I'm just going to absolutely shout at them. Because they have been awful. And we've got it in us to be better than this. Right, Coutinho, we gave him a chance. He's not done, but he's done in this game. We're going to give Rooney Bargi a chance. Because he has scored a goal for us recently from that left side. So we'll give him a chance. Valeri's coming off Cambiasso, which is a bit of a risk. Because Cambiasso has been trash recently. And then I feel like it's got... I want to take... See, Castrovilli has ended up being one of our best players, which is really frustrating. I kind of want to take Karabakh or Tino off, but actually, I'm thinking defensively. Let's take Grimal off. I think Theaton. We're going to go narrow. We're going to drop this line back a little bit. And then we're still distributing centre-backs. That's absolutely fine. We're going to go quick. Go with early crosses as well. Just going to try something a little bit different and just see whether these 3 changes will do anything. Oh, God, we don't click on that. They probably won't. I think we're probably done, to be honest with you. I think that's the game over already at half-time, but... We'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. We're going to demand more from the boys. Because there is more from these players that can be given. They're just not giving it at the moment, which is a bit frustrating. I feel like 2-0 down, the team is likely to just capitulate and give up. Liverpool are spanking Leverkusen at the moment, which I think is probably a good thing. I imagine Leverkusen will have lost against Barcelona already. I haven't looked at the table properly. I haven't looked at the other fixtures. But I would imagine that they lost, which, as we've got a draw against Liverpool, it goes into our hands if that is the case, because it means that basically it's a shootout between us and Leverkusen as who is the best of the rest. I am already kind of resigned to the idea that we are going to be a Europa League team come January, which is, it's absolutely fine. We should be competing at that level. What a lovely bit of movement that is from us, though. Rooney Bargi now bursting down the left wing, looking for options, whips it in, looking for Totino. Totino is there, and we've actually got one back. And who knows? It's taken us 5 minutes to get back into this game. 5 minutes from the kickoff of the second half. Rooney Bargi to Totino, and all of a sudden, we have a lifeline in this game. I don't imagine it's going to last. But it might. It very well might. Who knows? Who knows? It is also worth pointing out that, and I know how this is going to come across. This is going to come across as excuses. We are very tired at the moment. We have played a lot of football recently. We have rotated, but not as much as probably we should have, because we've got a very, very good first team. And the second team is still good. We've still got some very good rotation with players. But, I don't know. I trust some players in this team more than others. We're going attacking against Barcelona, by the way, here. Let's demand more and see whether we can get another goal and equalise. We've just looked very tired recently, very lethargic. And I'm also wondering whether this system is kind of reaching the end of its usefulness, which, if it is a bit concerning. Speaking of concerning, that was not 2-1 against Barcelona. I'll take that all day long. Genuinely. I will take that all day long. I think the boys did okay there. Coutinho had a really bad performance. And if anyone watched my Twitch save with Coventry, I signed Carlos Tevez in the first season. That Carlos Tevez, like 37, 38-year-old Carlos Tevez. was awful for us. I'm already getting Carlos Tevez vibes from Coutinho. I mean, that was I'm giving him a week's wage fine for that. That was really, really bad. That's probably going to come back and bite me, but that was awful. Right, I'm going to go and play the Genoa game, then we'll be back for the Roma game, where hopefully normal service shall be resumed. And by normal service, I mean us not losing, because I don't really like that. Okay, better tidings were had in the game against Genoa. Coutinho still isn't playing very well, though. Oh, God. He'll come good. He'll come good. He'll come good. He's currently sitting out. He's currently playing for the under-20s. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, we did beat Genoa out, so I just skipped over. Wasn't all our own way, for being completely honest with ourselves. We did go behind, thanks to... Well, no, actually, we were in the lead for a good chunk of the match. A Monchu penalty, which is nothing to really shout home about, scoring from a penalty, but it was still in the lead. And then... I've got to show you this. I've got to show you this. I raised questions after signing Perez as to how good he actually was. I don't have the words. I don't have the... Should we just watch that again, just to... Yeah, yeah. Can't even blame Silvestri. That was all Perez, just not concentrating. We brought him on as a sub for Thiat. I wish we kept Thiat on. As it stands, Dolberg got his first goal for the club, and then another Monchu penalty. All the penalties in this game. Sealing the game. Again, as I said, another poor game for Coutinho. Dolberg, we had been playing as a deep lying forward. In that game, we actually switched him to an advanced forward. That's probably going to be his position when he comes on. So, yeah. Let's just say Perez is a little bit on the naughty step. He's played a friendly and had a good performance in that friendly, so maybe he'll get another chance. But that wasn't a great way to endear himself to my heart. Let's put it like that. But enough of that nonsense. We've got the big game against Roma. It's a Roma who I think are in 12th place or something like that. But this is the team that we're going to be hopefully beating Roma with. It's Dragowski in goal, Sambia, Greenwell, Thiat and Valeri in defence, Cataldi and Monchu in the midfield with Bargi, Karabek and Totino supporting Luca up front. Made a couple of tactical tweaks. Totino and Bargi are the other way around, so Totino's on the left, Bargi's on the right. Monchu and Cataldi are the other way around as well, so we've got Monchu as a defensive deep line playmaker and a supporting ball-winning midfielder role for Cataldi, because Cataldi just has more about him in an attacking sense. He's not the best on the ball, but he moves into channels, he shoots from distance, so it makes sense for him to get further forward than Monchu, who literally does not like running with the ball. So we're going to give it a go and see whether it works. If it doesn't, we switch back, and we know that right way round we at least fly. Why is there a fly? We know at least the other way around that they get decent performances, but other than that, it is the team that you would expect. And as previously mentioned, Felipe Coutinho not involved on a bit of the naughty step, because, I mean, he's just not performed. I mean, that's 7.9. I'm fairly confident. That's from the game he's just played for the under-20s. So, not ideal. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the game against Roma and hopefully not lose. That'd be nice. Let's go. I would never ever suggest that my transfer record in Football Manager is 100%. But I'd like to think I've got a decent transfer record in Football Manager in terms of signings in any of the saves that I've done. I'd like to feel like I've not made any massive clangers. Now, I can point to my Coventry City save and point to Ramirez and Carlos Tevez. I mean, Ramirez had a good first half of the season for us in that save, and he was pretty decent, actually. So I wouldn't say that was a mistake at all. Carlos Tevez was definitely a mistake, but it was a cheap mistake. Remember, we signed him on a free, so it cost us nothing but his wages, and his wages were very, very little, and we actually made a profit on him because we sold him for actual money. If Coutinho doesn't start to pick things up, he might go down as the worst signing I have ever made in Football Manager. Now, granted, that's a lovely goal from Adam Karabek. Adam Karabek has started this season pretty well, all things considered, and I'm very, very happy for it. That does bring me on to Coutinho, and if we make a profit on him, it doesn't really matter. We only spent it's like 3 million or something like that in total. The issue he's got is he's got Karabek in front of him, and Martin Rabo would be in and about there as well had he not left due to his release clause. But He has got a bit of an uphill battle. Now, he can play out wide, but I wouldn't really want to play Coutinho out wide so often because his stats just don't suit it anymore. Like, he needs pace. It's another red card. Full disclosure, there's been a lot of games recently where our opponents have had someone sent off. This is yet another one of them. We must be just very, very good at drawing fouls out because it just happens so often. But yeah, so the pecking order has actually shortened for Coutinho. But again, playing him out wide, like, I would be tempted to bring him out wide if we had him on the bench, but he hasn't got the pace for it. Now, he does have a little bit of acceleration, which helps, but realistically, he needs to be in and around this area here. But even then, he's not been performing that well, so there is a position for him in this team. We just need to find out what it is. I think the issue is, if we're being completely... Oh, I didn't want to... Oh, no, don't click anything else. Don't know what I was doing with that. I think the issue is... The play kind of needs to go through Coutinho, but we've got Monchu, who has been a very, very good playmaker for us, and I don't really feel like we need to be changing something that isn't broken just to fit Coutinho in. Again, I'm not saying I regret the signing, I'm just saying hindsight is a wonderful thing, and that money could have probably gone on one or two very decent loan players. We are winning 1-0, by the way. I'm barely talking about the actual game. Karabakh now gets it into Rooney Bargi, and Rooney Bargi gets his second goal of the season. It's an assist for Karabakh as well. Karabakh having a great game in that supporting striker position. Supporting striker? I've just made up a new role. Shadow striker position. It's great, but see, 2-0 up. This is where I'd like to bring Felipe Coutinho on. I've deliberately left him out because I wanted to get some good ratings in the under 20s, but I'd love to have him to bring on now just so he could potentially have a go at a team that is not going to give us much trouble because they're down to 10 men. We are doing very, very well in this game. We've actually stopped them up until this point from having a single shot on goal. In fact, we've gone an hour without them having an opportunity on goal. That is fairly impressive, I would argue. It is about substitution o'clock, so we are going to make a change, and I think that change is going to be for Rooney Bargi. He has scored today, he has done very well, but we are going to give him a break for Dennis Mann. Also, Coutinho's coming off because he's had a shocker. How he's had a shocker against 10 men Roma, I don't know, but he's had an absolute shocker. So, Valentin Mihaila, who I don't feel like has played very much recently, I'm going to rectify that by bringing him onto the pitch today, giving him some football, and we'll carry on until the 80th minute where we'll make our final change. But this has been a very, very professional performance. Not been exceptional, but we've done the job that's required of us, and we will make that final change. And do we take Karabakh off? We could take Karabakh off. Take Karabakh off because Fagioli's the manager at Juventus is moaning that he's not playing a lot of football. So we will bring him on and pop him in that position, and we'll give him some football just to stop their manager from moaning, basically. Oh, Greenwell and Cataldi absolutely mugs the player there. Mihaila is in, and Mihaila going to try and hold the ball a bit. Gets it back to Luca. The ball nearly loops in. It didn't quite make it all the way there, though, and it would have been a nice goal for Lorenzo Luca, who has not scored today. But again, he's got a good rating. He just gets involved and makes space for other players, and that's what I like about him. And he is a threat from set pieces as well, as was nearly proven there. Leo Greenwald does tap it in. It will be interesting to see whether the goal gets given, because it probably was quite tight on the offside. But if it does, it was all from that Luca header from the corner. So it will be. I don't think it will count as an assist, but it has been given. It is indeed 3. It's glorious. We are beating Roma 3-0. That'll do. There is no assist for the goal, but that doesn't matter because what matters is we have got the 3 points and we leave our own stadium. I keep saying our own stadium because I keep forgetting it. Ennio Tardini. I know what it's called. I don't know why I don't just say it. We win 3-0. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. And everyone had a good performance apart from Totino, who's been good recently. Look at AC Milan putting the work in. I mean, we were never going to be top of the table after that performance because look at the amount of goals they scored. Wonderful. Well, for them, not for us. Right. Well, we're doing very, very well. We're second in the league. Rightfully so as well. We've performed really well so far, for the most part. It would be nice if Felipe Coutinho could start performing well as well. But yeah, what's that last game he played? Let me just have a quick nose. Look, if we go to Parma under 20s, he played 1 game. So he got a 7.9 and got an assist. So he did very, very well indeed. Phone just went off. Apologies. I'm hoping another game or 2 in at this level. He'll just get a little bit more game time, a little bit more experience. We're used to playing the way that we play. and we'll be able to reintroduce him back into the first team and get some decent performances out of him. I mean, the crazy thing is, some of his stats are going up. He's 32 years old, and some of his stats are going up. I'm here for it, but he needs to turn that performance into this level, because right now he ain't looking good. Parallel universe out there, Ross had a really good player. Descent that universe. Right, let's have a look at when we're going to come back. Right, I'm thinking we skip quite a bit into the season. We go to December, and we'll come back for that final Champions League game against Liverpool and another game around it. So I'm thinking something like Udinese, Cagliari, maybe Empoli, one of those games around it. But we'll come back in that general region, and hopefully by then, Felipe Coutinho will remember how to do a football. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any more future lovely FM content from me. I've been Stubo, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.